Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are here tonight on Merle's Zoom, hosting our Wednesday night Zoom, and I just want to say thank you for everyone who's joined today. I hope you can hear. We have a little bit of issue with the Wi-Fi, so between Mish and myself, and maybe Amanda, who just got dropped off, we hope we get through the presentation okay. But I want to just introduce myself. My name is Caroline Fithen. I'm Danish, but I live in the UK, and I started patching about a year ago, actually, just about to this date. And I've had a fantastic, interesting journey on my lifeway journey. I am, as most people probably, I was a bit skeptical at first, but one of my friends who introduced me is someone I rate very highly. So I was definitely prepared to look at the product. And once I discovered that it was a natural product, there was nothing going into the body, and it wasn't actual someone else's stem cells kind of being activated, then or through me, then I was all in. I'm a homeopath and also I'm trained to be a herbalist, so I'm definitely interested in anything natural and alternative. So this sounded like perfect for me. So I started patching and I didn't feel anything. I was not a one patch wonder. I patched for at least 3 weeks without feeling a thing. And I'm thinking, right, what's going to happen? And then suddenly I realized I was sleeping really, really well. And then one little thing after the other started happening. I had less pain in my neck. I had less pain in my joints. I've got low-lying arthritis. I think I've got probably autoimmune issues that haven't really been picked up by a doctor because I don't go to the doctor. But I had particularly got a very stiff knee that I couldn't bend and hadn't been able to bend for many, many years. And so really irritating. I couldn't do yoga or even qigong, which is something I do a lot, was difficult sometimes. But within 3 months of patching and adding Aeon into the mix and a few other of the others as well, I was suddenly feeling my knee was bending again, which was a massive blessing. I could squat and I could actually sit on the floor and get up without using my hands. And for me at 66, that was massive. So yeah, my personal journey then has continued. I just think, I'm not going to stop. I'm on this for the long haul. I want all the benefits I can get. But I'll hand you over to Mitch, who is from South Africa and can tell her a little bit about herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Mich Seagreen. I'm a chiropractor based in Durban in South Africa. I was introduced to the patch by a colleague of mine, Dr. Kathy Mercer, and what happened was I went to her for a treatment myself in December in 23, and she started talking to me about LifeWave, and I was like, this is not for me. But a month later, I was thinking about a patient that I was trying to help, but there was just something that she needed that I wasn't able to provide. So I thought of Kathy, and I phoned her, and she told me more. And I still very skeptical, did about 6 weeks worth of research, hopped on numerous of these calls, as well as the Saturday trainings that are done by the US. And eventually I was pushed into it by another friend of mine who said, Mish, you've got to go for this. So my own results have been phenomenal, which one is that I have had eczema since 18 months old. And after about 6 months on LifeWave, and only after I started using it consistently and properly, and as per David Schmidt, that's when my eczema finally lifted. I do occasionally have a flare up here and there, but stick an Eon on and I'm A for away again. And yeah, loving the journey, loving what it's done for me, my mom, my patients. It is remarkable. Back to you, Caroline.
Yeah, thank you, Mish. We can get back to talking a little bit about some of the results later. Maybe some of the people on here have had a patching story as well to share. But why don't I start the presentation? I'm going to share my screen, and I'm gonna share, and then I'm gonna play, and then hopefully you can see this.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is what we say to everyone who starts this journey with LifeWave is, have you been patched yet? And if you haven't, I know obviously some of you have already. I'm not sure whether any of you are completely new to the patching here tonight, but if you haven't been patched yet, you're in for a treat. You're going to start feeling your body elevate, activate, and regenerate. We can't talk about the patches or anything to do with LifeWave without talking about the inventor, David Schmidt, who is the CEO of the company as well. He's now got more than 180 patents, and he's an amazing character. I mean, if you have a chance to go and listen to any of his YouTube chats or anything you can find online with him, he's very, very interesting to listen to. And he was definitely the one that convinced me that this was something I needed to look into. He is specializing in age reversing. And in 2008, he started focusing his attention on stem cell research, which obviously was a bit of the buzz word at the time, and obviously still is. And his recent patent took 10 years and 4.5 million to bring to market. Now, to get a patent is not easy. You have to be able to prove that everything you say that your product can do has been backed by scientific and clinical studies. And but obviously, it's a huge big deal for us that we have got a patent for X39, because it means that we have a product on our hands that nobody else can get hold of. And if we look at what this patent says, it says it's an embodiment as a result of elevating copper peptide, including activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improved wound healing. So these are all things that have been proven to happen when you patch with X39. So pretty amazing stuff. Now, X39 stem cell activation patch, why do we say we need to wear it? Well, some of you probably know that the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. And obviously, hundreds of millions of people are experiencing those symptoms every day. But I didn't actually know that when you were born. Well, I think I knew when you were born that you had a lot of stem cells, or had the most amount of stem cells. But I certainly didn't know that by 30, you only had half your stem cells active. And by 60, you've lost almost all stem cell activity. So that's pretty major, really. And that explains why, obviously, with age, you just can't heal as fast as you used to. So how does it work with X39? Well, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy, which is just a different way of saying light therapy. So light therapy, we know from putting little children under a lamp if they're jaundice, or you go into the sun and the sun hits your skin and it produces vitamin D. That process is helping the body produce vitamin D. So it's just another way of saying light therapy. It's a patented nanocrystal technology, so the patch has got organic nanocrystal salt, sugars, amino acids in it. And when you stick it onto your arm, for instance, or the back of your neck, it reflects light from your body, and that's what activates it. Basically, we emit infrared light from our bodies all the time. And this is what activates this little plaster to react. And what happens then is that it activates in the body something called copper peptides, and those copper peptides are really, really important for the body to actually function well, and important for your immune system. But most of all, it's the ones that activates your stem cells. So those are really, really important to have activated. And then we can just remember that the patch is non-transdermal. There's no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants, and it's absolutely non-invasive, which is really amazing, I think. So the benefits of X39 are so many. And again, these here on the screen today are just what you will find from the studies. But if any of you have been patching for a while, you will recognize quite a lot of all of these. In fact, I can vouch for all of them. I definitely I'm stronger, increased strength, reduced inflammation, increased stamina, more energy and vitality, mental clarity, a big one, restored muscle and skeletal conditions, improvement of sleep. That was the first one that happened to me, and improvement of skin appearance. And yes, I've definitely noticed that my skin is softer. I haven't got that scaly dryness on my legs that I used to have any longer. So it's a real way to achieve optimal health and a sense of complete physical, mental, and social well-being wearing X39. Now, this is an interesting little experiment that they did. It's a topography map of a 77-year-old woman who had X39 placed at the back of her neck. In the first session, you can see from the picture and all that red that there's a lot of inflammation in the brain and there's a lack of brain coherence, and that was before she wore the patch X39. In session two, this is just 3 weeks in, she has no more inflammation and she's got improved brain coherence. And in session three, 6 weeks on X39, there's a complete turnaround and much better brain coherence. And so it can be noted that when she came in, her brain was hyperactive, but it calmed down dramatically at the second visit and after wearing the patch just for 3 weeks. So, and her brain remained calm after wearing the patch for 6 weeks as well. So this is a really interesting study to show how quickly you get benefit from the patch. And X39 long-term results per case studies on thisitinfo.com. Now, this is something you can maybe want to take a little screenshot of because it's a great website to go on. And here you'll find all the clinical trials and studies. You will also see that you'll be able to read about what happens the first few days, like as you can see here, the 4,000 genes begin to reset. As we saw earlier, within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced, and within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And that's not just collagen in your hair and your nails and your surface of your skin. Collagen is also in your gut, in your joints. I mean, it's a really important aspect of the patch. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. So, as David Smith likes to say, it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. So how do you wear X39? Well, you wear your patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off to repair and to rejuvenate. And it's important to give it those 12 hours off because you don't want the body to get used to it. You want to have a good break between wearing and non-wearing. And we always suggest that you wear X39 in the day. And then in the evening, you throw the patch away, or you could give it to your dog or to your spouse or to your kids, because there is still a little bit of power left in the patch. So some people like to save theirs and give it to someone or put it on their pot plants. This has all seemed to work. That little extra 4 hours that you might get out of your patch is definitely worth saving. But then you will put a new and fresh patch on again the next day, and then you just repeat. You don't need to wear more than one patch at a time of the same patch. But if you wanted to wear one of the other patches, for instance, with X39, you could consider wearing maybe Eon for inflammation, or there's another patch called Ice Wave for pain, and they can be worn at the same time. But again, try and wear all of these only 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And then don't forget to drink plenty of water. It's really important to be hydrated when you're wearing your patches. You do definitely need to drink more water, and if you can, add a bit of electrolytes to it. That would be really good. The suggestion is probably a couple of gulps, good gulps every half hour. That's a lot better than drinking 3, 4 big glasses during the day. That puts quite a lot of pressure on your kidneys. So better just to gulp a few good gulps in on a regular basis throughout the day, and you will find that your patches work so much better. So the X39 is so sophisticated, yet very simple to explain. And the testimonies that we hear from people on these calls are life-changing anyway. And the best thing about it is that it absolutely does work. So I think we're gonna let's just see if we can get off. No, what do I do to get back now like that? Are we back on screen? Let's have a look. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have a little break now before we move on and see if anyone's got anything they would like to share in terms of patch experience, any testimonials. Please don't be shy. And if not, both Mich and I can certainly provide you with some stories ourselves. But let's see if there's anyone who would like to share.
Everyone's shy today.
Everyone is shy. Or maybe also very, very new to patching, which is understandably, you don't always have that much to share. But maybe I'll start then by telling some of my stories. But you reminded me, Mish, that one of my first patching stories was actually my friend who'd had eczema herself since she was a child. And she also has asthma, and she had various other issues as well. She had a fatty liver, and yeah, there was lots of stuff going on. She started on X39, and within a couple of weeks only, I spoke to her, and she said, "You know what? I don't think I'm really not seeing as many breakouts as I used to." So I said, "Great, let's keep patching, keep going." Within 5 weeks, her eczema had actually left the body. And that was all she did, X39. And then she said, "I don't know what it is, but I seem to be losing weight." And I said, "Oh, why are you doing anything different?" "No, nothing different. I'm just putting the patch on every day." And within 3 months, she patched every day for 3 months. She lost about 6 kilos. They just came off. She said, "I did not do anything. I didn't change anything else. It was amazing." Her fatty liver resolved itself. And yeah, she was thrilled. And she doesn't need her asthma puffer any longer. So that was 3 months of just X39. And she got that result. I mean, it started fairly quickly, actually. So that was pretty amazing. I was super thrilled for her. And Amish, I know you've had lots of success in your clinic as well. Maybe you want to share a couple of yours.
So, with regards to my patients, I use X39, not X39 so much for my patients. I use IceWave, which is the pain relief patching, and Eon, which is the anti-inflammatory, which Caroline's already mentioned. And they are extremely successful in taking or reducing pain. The IceWave comes in a pair, and when you use it correctly, it can take in 6 or 7 different people now. It's taken sort of cracked ribs down from a 10 out of 10 pain to a 2 or a 0 out of 10 even. So depending on the person and also depending on their hydration. Yeah. Hydration is huge when it comes to IceWave especially. Found that if they're dehydrated, then they don't work as well as when people are hydrated. The most recent patching experience with IceWave I've had is a friend of mine had 5 arteries bypassed in the heart. So, and he was about 3 weeks post-surgery. And I patched him. And the next week I saw him again, and he said, "You know what, Mish, those patches helped so much. I was able to get up and go for a walk." And that is basically 3 weeks post-surgery. And he even saw the swelling go down just with the IceWaves. So that was huge for me. So he is now talking about the patches to all and sundry. So we'll see what happens there. In terms of the X39, I think the biggest change I've seen are my mom and the patient of mine whose kidney functions improved. Both of them did blood tests routinely and found the kidney function had improved quite dramatically. One from 44 to 69%. My mom's a bit less. Hers only went up 11%, but she had a lot wrong with her. beyond the kidneys. And what healed for her most quickly was her gut. She had had numerous surgeries to her gut, large sections removed. She had IBS for years. She could not tolerate gluten and many other normal things that we eat every day. And 6 weeks after she started patching, she went to my cousin for a visit. My cousin fed her pasta, which would have made my mom double in pain the next day. Obviously, my cousin didn't know because my mom doesn't really share like that. And she ate it and she was absolutely fine. And so now she's enjoying life. She's enjoying her food again, which is great. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. Just on X39.
Just on well, she did use, I started her on X39 and Eon.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say Ian is another patch that I absolutely love, and I have a husband who rides, and he's in his 60s, and he can really feel it when he's been on the horse, especially in his hips. And recently, I started patching him on his hip when he comes back after a particularly eventful day. I just stick one on his hip, and it's absolutely gone the next day. He said he cannot believe how quickly he recovers now. He also rides motorbikes, and just that swinging the leg over a bike has been hard for him. He's obviously got a bit of arthritic hip, and again, I always patch with X39 as well, but the two of them together, they really seem to be magic on inflammation or anything like that. So yeah, such a
Yeah.
good combo.
Linda, no pressure, but I see you did join. Do you have any new stories?
Yes, I do.
Excellent.
Fantastic,
Can,
Linda.
can you hear me?
We
Yeah.
can.
I've spoken about one of my patients who's had cancer on the larynx and has had with a lot of radiation, and has had great difficulty in initiating speech. And he phoned me very excited the other day saying he usually has to walk straight up to his laborer and try and shout with this voice that he can barely be heard. And he said for the first time he was able to project his voice enough to call somebody from a distance. And he was so excited.
Wow.
He also told me that he was in absolute agony with a calcaneal spur. So I said to him, well, why don't you move your Eon onto the back of your foot? And he phoned me to tell me he was in Gateway Shopping Centre and he'd been walking all morning and he was pain-free. So he's singing the praises of X39 and also the Eon. Also have a patient in the old age home who had a hip replacement, and from week one, her wound has recovered miraculously, absolutely no bruising. So yeah, we've seen she's up, she's walking, and she's 4 weeks post-op, getting involved in the home again. So it has been a really quick recovery from a total hip replacement.
Fantastic, Linda. Thank you for that. That was brilliant.
And she'd had another hip done about 6 months before that. And I think the recovery this time has been twice as fast.
Yep. Definitely.
Amazing. Wow. Brilliant. Yeah, well, I mean, there was a one on the story yesterday with a knee replacement who just recovered so quickly, apparently. So, I think it's for anyone who's considering an operation of any kind, it's certainly a good idea to patch before, during, and after as well. That seems to be a massive help in terms of recovery.
Yeah, one of my patients as well had a knee replacement, and her 3-week post knee replacement was equivalent to what it normally is at 6 weeks.
Wow.
So, but she'd been patching for quite a while before the actual surgery. So yeah, amazing.
Well, brilliant. And has anyone else felt the need to add to the stories? You've still got a moment, but otherwise we maybe just decide to continue with the presentation. Shall I just share my screen again and just get going? So what happened? Whoops, what
I think
happened?
you can just press play at the top.
Yeah, but somehow I got out of it, so I need to get back on it again. Share. And for some, oh, here we go. I just need to press play. Here we go. Okay, so how do we wear X39? No, we have that, so we're going to take this one. So this is the one we need to talk about a little bit. Again, we're back at the thisisit.info.com website. A really lovely place to find information about all the patches, but especially X39. And if you you want to go on there, you can definitely find both doctors talking about it. You can find some of the studies that's been done. So this is a really good way to start, a good place to start if you want to know more about X39. So yeah, Mich, would you like to talk a little bit about the company itself?
Yeah, okie doke. So the company itself is a 20-year-old company. David Schmidt started it 20 years ago. But the biggest change in the company came about when X39 was released. And from that time, it's gone from a 20 million in 2021 turnover company. And I think we hit about 600 million last year, being 2024. The products are available in more than 80 countries now. And if you're looking at doing this as a business, which you're not obligated to do, but if you are looking at doing it as a business, it's important to know, A, that it is a 20-year-old company, and therefore it is very solid and stable. And B, it is not a Me Too product. So you're not promoting cannabis, which you can go and get at Discount, cannabis oil, and you're not promoting a shake or a weight loss supplement. You are promoting something that is completely unique and is only available through your brand partners and through LifeWave itself. The businessforhome.org does a survey of all the stay-at-home sort of companies, and LifeWave is now ranked at #1 in momentum and in growth, and that was in 2023 at 369 million. Like I said to you, it's now hit over 600,000. So just to show you how well the company is growing, and just to say again that you're not going to have this kind of growth if the product that you are using is not as good as the product is. At this stage, we need to ask, what is most important in your life? Do you want more time with your family? Do you want more time freedom? Maybe you don't want to sit at work 8 hours a day. Perhaps you want more security. Maybe you want to travel more. Maybe you just need better health. And a lot of people also need less debt. And so if you're wanting better health and you're just wanting to use the product, that is great. That's awesome. But if you're wanting less debt, more time freedom, then this is possibly a company that you should consider working with, because it literally is working with people, because we work with teams. And we'll go into more of that a bit just now. Okie dokes, this is the teams I was talking about. So how do you earn an income with LifeWave? There are a few ways. The first thing you do is you get a bit of a commission when you introduce someone for the first time. But the most important part, or the best part about the compensation plan with LifeWave, is that if you build two teams, one on your left and one on your right, your team builds together and you grow together. And as soon as you have two people, just two people to start off with your team, you are classed as a manager. And if you've bought enough product, you're classed as manager. And when I say you bought enough product, it's not a lot. then you start to earn cycle bonuses. And those cycle bonuses are capped at 25,000. Now, no one that I'm aware of has earned that amount of money yet, but they do start to add up. So it's as easy as knowing 4 people to join under you, 2 on your left, 2 on your right, and you open up the ability to earn the team commissions. Then this is quite a complicated screen, but all you need to know is you're building with your team. So I've introduced Linda de Lange. She's my first line. When she earns one of those team commissions, I also earn 25%. So if she's earned 1,000 in matching bonuses, I earn 250 in dollars. Not of her money, but of the company pays me that because I'm building a team and I'm helping her to build her own team as well. When you get to another level and you're earning 6 of those commissions, then you start to earn from the person below Linda. For example, Linda's got Annie below her, and then I earn what Annie brings in as well. Not of her money, but 20% of what she earns. She keeps her full 1,000 and I keep my 200. But when you start, all of this might sound a bit complicated to you, and that's absolutely fine. It was very complicated for me in the beginning because I've never done this before and I didn't ever think I would. But as you go, you see and you grow, and all of us are here to help you grow. For example, I said hello to Karen earlier on today. She has been introduced to our team on my left leg, and Linda is also part of that team. So we would really help Karen, A, to earn an income, and B, to grow her business. And that is why we earn those team commissions. So how do you get in? So you literally get in where you fit in. So what do you want to do? Do you just want to use the product, or do you want to do the business? So if you just want to use the product, the core is probably the package for you, because at $295 you get 3 sleeves of X39, or you can mix and match the X39 with some of the other patches like Eons. But the person who introduced you would be able to clarify that for you a little bit more. But David Schmidt says, use the patches for at least 90 days before you decide they don't work for you. I know from myself, I wanted my eczema to go away, and that took at least 6 months. And only when I was doing it properly, 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So that is the right package for you if you're going to just use it for yourself. And if you do that, and then you start chatting to people and you eventually decide, actually, I do want to share this, then you are able to share it straight away. There is another way that you can purchase where you don't ever have to share, and your brand partner can chat to you about that as well. Then there's the advanced package. This is for your bigger families or for your beginning business builders. And it gives you 6 sleeves at $535. So that's quite a nice discount for your 6th sleeve. So it's a great way to start at advanced. And at the moment, if you do join as advanced, they are going to give you a free Eon sleeve as well as your brand partner that introduced you. So it's actually great. You're going to get 7 sleeves if you start at advanced, I think up until the 20th of this month. And then for people like your pharmacists and bigger clinics and things like that who are wanting to really grow a really good business, you're going to go in at premium, and that'll give you 20 sleeves of X39. So some people go with this, and then they give people sleeves to try the patches, and then when the people they've given the sleeve to join, then they just replace their patches. Okay, now if you're wanting to do the business, you need to stay active, because as your team grows, you build volume. And as you build that volume, you need to keep that volume going so that you can get those cycle bonuses I spoke to earlier. And all you need to do to keep active is buy 1 sleeve of X39 a month. So just enough for you if you are single. And that just keeps you active and keeps you able to earn up to $100. If you want to open yourself up to earn more, then you need to buy 2 sleeves a month. And I mean, most people have a partner or a child or whatever, so 2 sleeves a month for the family. You do not need to keep stock on hand, like many companies years ago. You just need to purchase enough to use yourself to stay active, which is remarkable. And if you're active and you're keeping your volume going, you will start to earn those cycle bonuses as you grow your team. Oh, and there's a 30-day money back guarantee. So Caroline already gave you the rundown of thisisit.info.com. So that is literally where you can find a lot of info on the product. There's also This Is It Info YouTube. So a lot of videos on there. And then there's thisisitteam.com. And this is the one if you are wanting to earn some income. This is where they explain what I've just run through with you, but in more detail. Lots of tools are there if you want sort of like business cardy type things or application forms or whatever it is that you want. It's all found under there. They've really made it so easy for us to grow our businesses that, yeah. And we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Everything is there. We don't have to go out and draw up brochures and things like that. It's all there, just packaged ready for us. Okay, so the time's now to make your move. Do you have a dream to travel more? Do you have a dream to have better health? Do you have a dream to just bless people? Then this is for you. And you can get started with X39. That is the primary focus. And 97% of people have an effect within the first 3 months. Very few don't. And when we find that they don't, it's normally that there's something else going on. They haven't hydrated enough, they haven't had electrolytes, or they just need to hang on for a little bit longer, because sometimes it can take a lot longer. Like there's a sister who is in LifeWave, her name's Alex, took her 10 months to get her desired outcome. So I would suggest that if you're wanting to do this and if your goal is better health, put it in your mind that possibly this is something that you want to do for a year, because within that year, I'm very sure that this thing will be life-changing for you. And in terms of the business side, it will be life-changing for you just as much.
Thank you, Mich. That was brilliant. Let's just see what's happened.
So does anyone have any questions for us? Caroline, I'm sure we can stop the recording now and then we can...
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's stop the recording.